Heart of Oak is brought to you by Timberland Pro, Marvin Windows and Doors, Midcape and AZEC Trim,
and these valued partners.
So I was working at corporate America. We decided to take all our savings and dump it into a house and flip it on the side while I was working full time. I was just doing it to pay off debt, pay off college. The houses just kind of took over, and it was very unexpected, but I just kept doing it. And 1 turned into 3, turned into 5, turned into 8. I was just trying to build homes that I would want to live in, that were built really well with great craftsmanship. I didn't want to cut corners. I wanted to take the crappiest house in a neighborhood and turn it into one of the nicest ones. And those core values I didn't realize were core values I would carry 7, 8 years later with a team of 13. That's how we approach every single project. We don't cut corners, and we do it with a high level of craftsmanship. So I bought the first Glades project originally because I just wanted to build something and rent it. I just wanted a little beach house. But then once we got into it, we realized the apartment building was for sale, and they approached us and said, hey, if you're gonna buy this one, why don't you buy 87, which is the apartment building as well. Then, about a week later, the owner in the back called me and said, well, hey, would you wanna buy these 2? Because we're considering selling them. I put that deal together. So now all of a sudden I have 4.
Right away I was apprehensive, but that's generally how I am. PJ's definitely more risky and jumps right in, where I'm the one that's like pumping the brakes and making sure, like, is this a good idea? But the location kind of spoke for itself. So it was kind of a no-brainer.
The whole Glades project is something out of a book. It's a tall task, especially for a residential developer to take on.
It's a teardown. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I would not try to save this.
These buildings weren't just dilapidated. These houses were straight out of a slasher film. So seeing those things come down, I know for the homeowners around there, they were excited to see those houses come down, and they were even more excited to see what we were gonna build.
That place was as complex as it gets. My first subdivision, first time I've ever done anything on piles, special permits for zoning, special permits for health, doing 3 of them modularly, doing my first condo building, all in one spot.
We've never really built or sold a condo before, but I feel like this area is kind of perfect for it. And I think doing a condo is fun and different.
And this year has been so difficult. Delays and things back ordered and overages and prices going up. So I've definitely let it get to me a little bit this last couple months, but I'll get over it. And then especially when you walk up here and you come out here and you realize, the heck am I so worried about? It's so nice up here. So the first 2 skinny builds are done, right? Now we're moving into the final phase of the large apartment building. And we replaced it with a 2-unit condo building because we were gonna do 3 units. But by switching it to a multifamily, we were able to avoid commercial code for sprinklers. We were able to avoid an elevator, lots of things that cost a lot of money.
Ultimately, when you're building a multifamily home, it's a set of different processes and code checkoffs than a single-family residential house. It's more complex.
So we took the chance on going to 2 units, doing a smaller one down below and a larger one up top. I list it as a multifamily and I list it as 2 condos. Right out of the gate, we sell the single unit and I'm pumped. The next day, I get an offer on the whole building. So it's Murphy's Law, right? Like, no matter what you do, it's not gonna go the way you think. And that's real estate, that's the way it is. So it's been a little bit challenging to get it sold, but just like anything, you just have to be patient because there's always a buyer out there for something. When you're doing a project like Glades, you really need to have a strong back end of your business. So you need to be able to account for everything, making sure each house is being accounted for separately. This is all stuff that we've developed on our own over time. There's no book of how to do this, right? It's not easy. And so having the team behind me, like Lee, she's there every day for me to bounce questions off of, ask, hey, what did we pay for this back at that job?
I want to hear about the progress payments. Are we on budget? How are things doing? And you have to have all your ducks in a row. If you are not looking at this whole thing holistically, forget it.
And then having Cindy, my sister, who's my CFO, taking more of a broader approach and looking at the business as a whole.
The relationship that he and I have is sort of assessing, like, where are we today? Where do we want to be in 6 months from now? Where do we want to be in 18 months from now? And what does the client load and the project load look like in order for us to get where we want to go?
And then having Rochelle, who's our office assistant and my assistant, I'm able to throw anything at every single day.
There's so many different aspects of our business. We are all hands on deck no matter what the project, doing whatever is necessary, and that's the mentality of our team.
So it's about moving fast, being efficient, being accountable, and without that team behind you, there's no way you'd get it done. I wear a lot of hats in this business. I manage the design team and the architects. I negotiate deals, I find deals. So there's CEO PJ, but then there's also real estate PJ. What I've been learning through the Glades project specifically is that there's been so many people that want to see those buildings that it's taking me away from CEO PJ. It's taking me away from finish goods PJ. It's taking me away from all these other things I need to be doing. And I just got to a point where I was going to explode. So it was natural that we came up with the idea to start our own real estate firm called Oak 360.
Every company has a different goal, but the strong companies, they want to get vertically integrated. And that means owning all parts of the process. In Oak's terms, it means owning the build, owning the development, the acquisition, and now we're owning the brokerage side, which is selling our own properties.
What's ended up happening throughout the years is because I've been building homes and selling them, I've been representing myself. I haven't avoided real estate agents. It's just the opportunities work out in my favor where I could not use them, but I do have my license. So I'm able to utilize my license in those times when I do have to list something. So it was a natural move for us to start Oak 360 Real Estate because now we're able to take clients that need a place to live that Oak Development can't service, and we're able to work with them as a buying agent. At the end of the day, the goal is to help people achieve their goals. I've been looking for someone to run Oak 360 for about 1.5 years. I just couldn't find the right person. And again, I didn't want to just like jam a round peg into a square hole. I wanted to take my time and kind of allow the opportunity to kind of present itself. And that's exactly what happened. You know, I met Bob at a showing. What's up, man?
PJ, what's going on?
He hit it off. I could tell right away that he was just an energetic young guy that likes to get stuff done. You just get that feeling right out of the gate.
We were fans of Oak Development and Design to begin with, me being my wife and I, right? We love the design, we love the quality of work and the craftsmanship. And throughout just being in the industry and working with other agents and industry partners in different trades, I just had a really great opportunity to network, which is ultimately what led me to run into PJ. And just kind of organically, PJ and I just started chatting about kind of the business model and what he wanted to do in the next step of his business. And it really aligned with my goals and it was kind of a natural fit. We can walk clients through the entire purchasing process all the way through to closing. So really, Oak 360, that full circle is from construction to closing. That's why I get so excited about it. It makes a ton of sense.
We got to make sure that we create an outward-facing brand that's inviting other buyers, other sellers. We're not just representing Oak Development.
Yeah, and I think we can do that in a couple of ways. One, if we can drive hundreds of qualified buyers that believe in your brand and believe in the quality of work, if we can't build a house for them or renovate a house with Oak, we can at least take them on as clients and help them achieve their goals.
So that is exactly one of the reasons I created this brand.
The thing that was really exciting for me is that I get to build operationally a real estate brokerage from the ground up, where he's giving me the keys to the castle to really build out efficiencies in the operations behind the business. And it just so happens that I also get to leverage the really well-known Oak brand that everybody's come to love and have the opportunity to help sell some very, very beautiful homes.
For me, what's important with real estate agents is that there's just no BS. There's no smoke and mirrors. We just say it how it is, we're honest, and we make deals happen. And that's exactly how Bob was when he walked in.
When we brought Bob on, I remember PJ talking to me and really like hyping him up. I found this guy, he's super eager, he's young. And honestly, for us and for our family, we just don't necessarily have the bandwidth to do the whole 360 of getting it all the way to the sale point. And so to have Bob come on and help out with that, it's great.
First step is let's get this condo sold,
Sure.
and then we'll start working on some other listings.
Yep,
All right, let's crush it.
let's do it.
We brought Bob on. He's not come on as my listing agent. He's come on as the sales manager of Oak 360. So he's helping me run the real estate business so that I don't have to be the one running around like crazy while I'm trying to run a business, which is just awesome because I just don't have the time. But I'm very nervous about that unit selling.
Okay.
Now that you're on board, I'm like, we should just have you run with it.
Sure.
And come up with a plan to get the thing sold.
And we can almost use this unit as a jumping off point of the brand. Okay.
Really, the goal is to have a big push on this thing in the next week, week and a half, and try to capitalize on the summer beach traffic on the weekends.
In a matter of a few days, I had met PJ and my license was hung with Oak 360 Real Estate. The next phone call was, all right, I need you to help me to sell 87 Glades Unit 2. And that was it, we were off to the races. And for me, personally, I took that as my tryout.
When it boils down to it, we're out here building a dream, and Bob just has to make sure his shirt matches his shoes. Puts that smile on his face and he says, would you like to buy an Oak house? But in all seriousness, Bob has a heavy task ahead of him. He needs to sell the properties that we build, and so far he's been an excellent fit for the team.
And so one of the benefits of Bob, although he doesn't get his hands dirty often, he definitely has done some renovation himself. He's managed subcontractors himself, and he gets it, he understands it. And he's really interested and willing to learn even more about the process of building homes. That's what we're all about. There's so many special elements of this property. Obviously, the biggest thing are the ocean views. So all those decks on the back has a sunset facing Cohasset Harbor view. It's all about views. It's all about enjoying the outdoors. It's all about maximizing square footage. It's also all about maximizing the beach. And then inside, we wanted to keep simple, clean, bright, but at the same time, very functional. So turning this into from 3 units to 2 units, I was a little nervous that this unit would be weird, but I actually really like it because you have a lot of rooms.
I feel like it's huge. I wouldn't necessarily even use all the bedrooms on this floor as bedrooms.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good amount of space in this place. The unit upstairs is 2,600 square feet. It's got some nice custom details to it, some custom trim work on the 2nd floor. We do a nice little built-in in the kitchen. Did shiplap on the TV wall upstairs, and then in the bathroom, we did a lot of nice custom work as well.
That'll probably be our biggest vanity we've installed.
This one? I'm not looking forward to getting that up here.
Yeah, I think I'll be sick that day.
Yeah, my back will be really hurting that day. It's a really special condo to me, like my first one. I've never done a condo building. When you start to develop a plan for a project, I kind of say that every house or every project has its own little business model. And when I'm building that business model, the first thing I'm thinking about is like, who's really gonna buy this thing?
You need buyers to understand what their life is going to be like in that property, right? The scenery is so gorgeous. You have incredible views.
And then we developed the interior to kind of cater to that. With these houses, we thought the buyer was gonna be either somebody downsizing that wanted to be near the beach, or a younger couple, first-time home buyer that don't want to live in the city, but kind of want the city lifestyle.
We looked at it as, you know, we're building these beautiful modular beach homes with spectacular views that kind of mimic city living, right? It's a lot of stairs, it's a lot of up and down, a lot of floors, kind of like a city apartment. So, you know, you could maybe move out of Boston over to the beach, still have that city feel as far as the structure, but be right across the street from the water.
The first room of the condos is wide open. So it's all about maximizing the spaces and kind of delineating what is what through countertops, backsplash, but then also where the pendants hang. And then the living room, we have the fireplace in there.
To achieve an oak aesthetic in these houses, we're gonna do all of the tile in there. We're gonna select all of the plumbing finishes. We'll bring in the vanities, we'll bring in the lighting. We wanted the ease of a modular build, but the freedom to design with our aesthetic.
We're really looking for that kind of more modern beach cottage feel. And I think the team nailed it. Look at this place. Finally done.
Took a while.
Took way too long, but we're done, which is great.
Well, this is nice.
Yeah, this came out awesome. So most of the finishes are in now, right? The counters look great.
Yep.
I feel like we could show it right now.
Yeah, all the hardware will be on by the open house.
Now that we had Bob,
Yeah.
I don't have to work all day Saturday, all day Sunday.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is awesome. The floors look great. When I walk through a house and I'm thinking about it, whether it's right when I'm starting to frame or when insulation's going in or whatever, I'm always thinking about how I'm gonna use the house, how I would wanna live in it. And for me, it's all about the best use of space and the best use of an interior. If something doesn't look right, change it. So the stairs look good. They need a little more paint. If you take a sander to this and then we throw some stain on it, it'll probably be fine. I would just glue it down. What's the plan with this in here? Are we just gonna do like a panel? If I had this room, I would remove this screen and just let the breeze flow in. Yeah, because you'd see the water better. And it drives people nuts sometimes, some of my subs, but you know, I want to make sure it's right. The other challenge we've had to get us sold is there's no comps for this place. All of these units, there's no comps. There's no new construction down there that I could comp against it. It's a very, very unique opportunity, and we had to kind of set our own prices within reason of what we thought the market could bear. And in the end, I priced them where I felt like we would definitely sell them, knowing we were kind of high, but also knowing that the quality of what we do, the new construction, and the elements of design and quality that our team bring to the table, you can't comp that very often. So when we priced it this way, we took a little bit of a risk, but we got our numbers on the first two, we got our number on the first unit, and now we'll try to sell that top unit, and hopefully we'll wait it out and it'll work out. I definitely am looking forward to having some open houses. I think this is one of those units where you have to like get people in. It's not an easy sell online.
Yeah.
So, all right, Bob's got his work cut out for him.
Everything happened so fast, holding that open house, I needed that feedback first. Get it listed, open it up, get feet in the door, and let's understand how the market's gonna receive this property. So downstairs, really, on the first floor, you have your kitchen, living space, gas fireplace, really nice beach view, ocean view there. And then you have 2 bedrooms with a Jack and Jill bath. And we knew it was gonna be a challenge. It was an aggressive price, but the value was there in that property. Summer's really, really busy down here. It's nice to be around. It's like you drive through, everything's bustling. It's people on bikes, and it's a really, really nice beach community for sure. That's how we approached that open house. I took all of that feedback and kind of respun my marketing, and then we went from there.
You know, the open houses for us are great because not a lot of times people get into our houses because they're pre-sold. So when we have an open house, it's actually a little rare, and it's a great time for people to come and actually see our work. Glades was extra special because the whole neighborhood wanted that whole property rebuilt for so long. The fact that we're redeveloping that area and revitalizing it is huge. The outcome was great. Bob said the reaction to the building was awesome. So we'll move forward and hopefully we'll get it sold. You know, we've been struggling to sell this place, so it's been a little stressful. It's a very specific buyer we're looking for. Luckily, recently, Bob got somebody on the hook. He wants to simplify his life moving from a big single-family home, and he's excited about the unit, and it looks like we're gonna be putting the deal together, so we're pumped about that.
We had several private showing requests, and that's ultimately what ended up leading to the sale of the property. It was a Friday afternoon, the sun was setting kind of over the glades, and the marsh was golden. It couldn't have been more perfect. From the third story, you can't help but notice when you're up there that the other properties have roof decks. And with a flat roof on 87, to be honest, I kind of offered it before I even knew it was possible. And it seemed to me that this potential buyer, we would have him on the hook if we could put a roof deck in. But again, that's the beauty of working with PJ. He loves to say anything's possible with time and money, and I figured that would be the case. So luckily we walked next door to the neighbor's home. They were gracious enough to let us go up on their roof deck, and immediately when we turned the corner, it was one of those things where it was breathtaking. It was a perfect day, perfect setting, perfect weather. That kind of made the decision, I think, for the buyer.
We had talked about doing a roof deck on that, but we didn't really ever confirm if we could. Well, Bob comes to me and says, hey, I got a sale, but it's contingent on a roof deck. So number one, I'm pumped because we have a sale. Number two, I'm pumped because I got somebody that has the tenacity to offer that. Like, without even knowing, he's like, we'll figure it out.
In classic PJ fashion, before anything was even official or signed, he ordered the galvanized spiral staircase for the roof deck.
It makes the project look better, it's cooler, it's fun, and now this guy gets to have this amazing view from 35 feet up in the air of the Atlantic Ocean. I played it cool. I'm gonna read you the text that he wrote me the other day. He goes, morning, boss man. Boarding a flight to DC, but we'll call you around 8:30 with some good news. Sip your coffee with a little zip today. And I sent him my coffee with Oakley giving the thumbs up.
You don't have a lot of control in those situations, so I did everything that I could in my power, and it it worked out. I think what it did was it created a little bit of confidence in PJ and the rest of the company to hand me a little bit more responsibility and let's build this out faster. When that happened in such a sequential order, it was, okay, how do we scale up the brokerage now?
I feel like Glades is coming to a completion point, which is amazing because I've been there over 2 years. All the units in the front are now sold. People are living in them. The man before this project was very optimistic. The man afterward is worn out and has gray hair. This subdivision at Glades has been really, really tough. But the best part is that not only did we pull it off, but we were profitable. I don't know as if I could have pulled this off 4 years ago. I don't think I would have been profitable, but this is the evolution of a business. And so now we're gonna take everything we learned from this time and we're gonna be even more profitable.